This week, I'm going to deviate from talking about coaching and talk instead about my second favorite thing, smoking meat, and in particular, a Boston butt, pulled pork, if you will. I've been at this for over 50 years, and the finished product keeps getting better and better. So now I'm going to share. Understand, just like in football, there are many different ways to be successful. I'm just sharing what works for me. I've learned a lot over 50 years, and I've changed the way I do this over the years. Some is trial and error, some is from tips I've picked up from others over the years. It's like going to a coach's clinic. You may not do this exactly like I do, but maybe you'll pick up a tip that will help you. So let's start. When it comes to smoking meat, the Boston butt is perhaps the most forgiving. It's much more difficult to mess up a butt than chicken or ribs or, God forbid, a brisket. Easiest to mess up, as well as the most expensive to mess up. I usually pick out a butt that weighs around 8 pounds. That gives me the ability to get it on by 9 o'clock in the morning and be able to have supper at 5 and still give the butt time to rest and be pulled without being in a huge rush right before eating. Now, obviously, the bigger the butt, the longer it will take to cook. I don't like to waste money, so unless there's some special occasion I'm cooking for, I wait for a sale. Grocery stores put Boston butts on sale regularly. Some stores do more often than others. You've also got a better chance finding one on sale at like Food Line or Kroger than you do at Publix. Once you buy it, you usually have a couple of weeks before you actually have to cook it. Before preparing the meat, get your smoker up to the desired temperature. Now, I'm going to head into some sacred ground here, but hear me out. Temperature at which to smoke has always been a source of hot contention. Yeah, hot. Get it? Some swear that low and slow is the only way to go. That's all well and good if you want to do it that way. But I'm going to tell you, you can turn that heat up, spend a lot less time, and get a finished product that is as good or better than low and slow. So my cooker is going to be running at 300 degrees. If I'm in a rush, maybe 325. I can get that 8 pound butt on the smoker by 9 a.m. I don't have to get up early. And by 3 p.m., I'm pulling it off to rest. Sometimes a little sooner. If you want it to rest longer, start a little earlier. I'll talk about my smoker a little further along in this. So one of the biggest helps I've found is this large tub in which to prepare the meat. There are many versions of it on Amazon. It's big enough for the butt to fit. It's deep enough to keep the rub inside and not out on your counter. I have virtually eliminated any mess outside the tub while applying the rub to the meat. You need this. Take my word, especially if you hate cleanup and you don't want your wife fussing about the mess that you made. Cleaning this thing is extremely easy and it collapses down for easy storage when you're done. Hell, it even has a drain in it. So I take the butt and I rinse it off after I take it out of the package. And then I pat it dry with some paper towels and then place it in the tub. Put a coat of mustard all over the butt. It doesn't have to be a thick coating. You're not going to taste it in the meat. It serves as a binder for the rub. Now, I've heard of people who use olive oil, but I haven't tried it. Just plain old mustard. Now I'm ready to apply the rub, which I have prepared earlier. It's not hard at all to make your own rub, by the way. And the best part of making your own is that you can adjust it to your own taste and preference. Now, I make mine with a little extra brown sugar and a little less cayenne pepper than most others because my family prefers the bark a little sweeter and with a little less heat. So here's my basic rub: 3/4 cup of brown sugar. Again, you could do less. I started at half cup. 1/4 cup sweet paprika. 2 tablespoons of salt. A tablespoon of chili powder. A tablespoon of black powder. A tablespoon of garlic powder. A tablespoon of onion powder. A teaspoon of cumin. A half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And I throw in about a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. That's it. Now, your wife probably has all those things around the house anyhow for cooking. So there's no big expense in getting everything you need to make your own rub. You can adjust this to your taste. You can add other ingredients to it. You can experiment. As long as you don't get carried away, remember that Boston butt is very forgiving. Now, I played with the ingredients and cooking methods when cooking for myself. I stuck to things I knew worked when having guests. You should probably do the same thing. Most rubs are going to have some combination of those ingredients included in them. Apply the rub generously to the entire butt. Cover all of the nooks and crannies. You want to have a good, tasty bark. You'll find many people who really love the bark on a pork butt. Many people apply the rib the night before. I don't. I do it while the smoker is heating up. When the smoker gets to temp, remember I'm cooking it at 300 degrees, I simply put the butt on the smoker and go about my business. That brings me to my second little helper I found in recent years. I use the Chef IQ thermometers to keep up with the temp of the meat. Now, I know many smokers come with a temp probe. I never really liked those. They never seemed really accurate. You had the wire to deal with. But these things are the bomb. Now, I used the meter ones for a while, but I much prefer these. They're also a little cheaper. You get 2 probes. They're no wires. They're very accurate. All you do is stick the probe in the meat, turn on the app, and cook. It will give you a time frame for when the meat is going to be done. But more importantly, it accurately tracks the temp and will let you know when to wrap your Boston butt as well as when it is done. Now, these bad boys are good for a lot more than Boston butts: ribs, chicken, smoked turkey, cook a steak, you name it. If you're cooking steaks, it will tell you when to turn them. It has different settings for different meats, different degrees of doneness, different methods of cooking. Any dumbass can cook with these things. So I stick one in the butt. And if I'm also doing ribs or whatever, I stick one of those in the rib or chicken or whatever it is I'm doing. 2 come in a set. It's reasonably priced for what you get. And no, this is not some kind of paid advertisement. This is just what I do. Now let's talk smoker. I've used a small Weber one that you use real wood. I've used Masterbuilt Electric and Masterbuilt Gas. I use one of those huge Masterbuilt gravity smokers. I've used a Pit Boss vertical pellet smoker. All of them work pretty good. Each has its own pluses and minuses. Cleanup's part of it. But now I'm using a Traeger, and I'm telling you, this thing keeps a great temperature. It's easy to use, and it's easy to keep clean. There's a bucket for the grease. and just buy one of those foil inserts that go in the bucket. When you're done, just toss it. No cleanup. They make these reasonably priced aluminum sheets that go under the grill plates. When you're done, you just toss them. No need to clean up a mess under the grates. They're not expensive. To clean the grates, two more discoveries. The first is a Weber grill cleaner spray. It cleans anything on any grill. It does a great job. Spray it on, wipe it off. And to top it off, these steam sponge cleaners are fantastic. Use them when the grill is hot. Dip the thing in the water, run it over the grates a couple times. They're clean. It's a miracle. This stuff saves so much time and effort. If you're like me, the cleanup ruined the fun of smoking. Not with this stuff. It's not expensive. It saves time. It saves effort. Try them. So back to the Traeger. I plug it in, I set it to start smoking, and then I turn the temp to 300. That's it. Walk off and leave it. You got the app to alert you to any issues, to tell you when to wrap, to tell you when to take it off. So what are you doing while it cooks? Mostly anything you want. Watch the ball game on TV. Whatever. However, I like to put together a little mixture of apple juice and apple cider vinegar. Not to drink. You spray it on the butt every 30 minutes to an hour. It helps with moisture. If you don't have a spray bottle handy, you can just mop some on. Works either way. When it's time to wrap, somewhere in the 165 to 175 range, if you're not using the app, you have a lot of choices. Some people like to use butcher paper as a wrap. Some use aluminum foil. Some even use a combination of the two. I prefer aluminum foil. If you're wrapping just aluminum foil, put a little bit of your apple juice, apple cider vinegar combination in the bottom. Moisture, not a lot, just a couple tablespoons. However, my go-to now is to put the butt into an aluminum half pan and wrap the top in aluminum foil. It works well. But this kind of goes into the easy category. It's much easier to take off the meat off the smoker when it's done, as you see a little later. What you may not like about using the pan is that it ends up with a lot of liquid in it, largely from the fat rendering. You will have the bottom of your pork butt covered in liquid, so the bark on that part will be very soft. Some people don't like for the bark to be soft. I don't mind. Now that part has a very good flavor, and you still have most of your bark that is not in the liquid. So here comes the part that will set your smoked butt apart from everybody else. And you can use the same thing on ribs. Put pats of butter on top of your meat when you are going to wrap it. Sprinkle raw sugar over the top of the meat. Add just a little of your favorite barbecue sauce over that, not too much. Trust me on this. Really, trust me on this. Just try it. You'll thank me. Now, finish wrapping. Put it back on the smoker until it's done. You have nothing else to do until that app tells you to take the meat off the smoker, somewhere in the 2-hour range. If you're not using one of these Chef IQ probes or any other type of probe that's going to tell you it's done at 205 degrees. When it's done, I take it in. It's already wrapped, and I let it rest until time to pull it. It's just sitting there in that pan, covered in aluminum foil, resting. Now, get you some of these barbecue gloves and use this to pull the meat. The inner part of the glove protects your hand from heat, and the disposable outer glove handles the mess as you pull the meat apart. Now I have a second half pan that I put the pulled pork in. Fat and bone stays in the original pan. When I'm done, I cover the pulled pork in aluminum foil, and I generally just serve the pork right out of that pan. Now, if you follow directions, the meat is going to almost fall apart in your hands as you pull it. There won't be a lot of excess fat because most of it will be rendered. This pulled pork goes with whatever type of sauce you prefer. I've used it with a vinegar sauce, with a mustard sauce. Uh, South Carolina people, we like that stuff. And with a thicker sweet sauce. They all go well with it. Now that's all there is to smoking the best pulled pork you've ever had. Has a nice pink smoke ring. It's tender. And above all, it will be very moist. Now I hope I gave you some ideas to try. Let me know in the comments if you tried it and tell me how it worked for you. If you got something out of this and would like to see one of these on ribs, let me know that in the comments as well. Now I'll be back next week and we'll go back to some coaching stories. I'll see you then.